Hi friends, my name is Mohit Mangal. I am a career counselor and author of Career Guide 2020, which has been recommended by CBSE Delhi and has been sent to all the CBSE schools across the world. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the Indian Air Force. I speak to more than 1 lakh children every year. I go to more than 200 schools. And one question which comes every now and then is the aspiration of children who want to get into the Indian Air Force. So they want to understand what are the different entry levels for the Indian Air Force. So today in this video, I'm going to talk to you in detail about the Indian Air Force. So let us get going. Career in the Indian Air Force. In this video, I will tell you how to get in the Indian Air Force. First of all, let's understand what is the motto of Indian Air Force. The motto of Indian Air Force is Nabha Sparsham Deepatam, which means touch the sky with glory. I will talk to you about what Indian Air Force is all about, levels of entry. I will talk to you about the ranks and processes of entry at junior level, details of the test and the selection procedures at the junior level. Then I will talk to you about the commissions which are there in the Indian Air Force. Then ranks and processes of entry at the senior level, and end with the details of test and selection procedure for the senior level entry in the Indian Air Force. The Indian Air Force is the air arm of the Indian Armed Forces. Its primary mission is to secure Indian airspace and to conduct aerial warfare during armed conflict. The President of India holds the rank of Supreme Commander of the Indian Air Force. The junior level ranks in the Indian Air Force start with aircraftsmen, or commonly known as airmen, then leading airmen, corporal, sergeant, junior warrant officer, and master warrant officer. The levels of entry are only two. Either you can join Indian Air Force at the airman level, or you can join Indian Air Force as a commissioned officer, which has got different entries. I will talk to you in detail about all of them. Starting with the airmen, you can be part of the Indian Air Force at Group X technical level, in which the areas where you will be working would include automobile, electronics, electrical, mechanical, structures, propulsion, workshop, or weapon fitter. The educational eligibility to get into Group X technical stream would be you should have passed an intermediate or 10+2 with mathematics and physics as compulsory subjects along with English, or you might have passed a 3-year diploma course in engineering any stream with at least 50% aggregate marks. What you need to go ahead after you complete this educational eligibility is an exam known as STAR, Scheduled Test for Airmen Recruitment, or an open rally followed by a physical fitness test and a medical fitness test. The age criteria for Group X technical is 17 to 21 years. Second is the Group X non-technical, which primarily is for the education instructor. Here you need to be an A graduate, B.Ed, or a postgraduate degree with 50% marks. Again, you have to appear for the STAR exam, and the age criteria is 20 to 28 years. The second level of entry would be Group Y technical, where you go for the area like communication or automobile technician. Requirement is 10+2 with 50% marks. Any stream or any combination of subjects is okay. Or Group Y non-technical, which is a medical assistant, 10+2, or intermediate with physics, chemistry, and biology along with English with 50% marks. Or Group Y non-technical, which is the musician, where you need to be a pass in just matriculation, that is 10th class, and you should be proficient in any of the musical instrument like trumpet, bass, violin, saxophone, clarinet, and so on. You need to go through the scheduled test for airmen recruitment, that is STAR, or through an open rally followed by a physical fitness test and a medical fitness test, and age criteria are defined on your screen as per the group and the scheme where you are wishing to enter. The last is Group Y non-technical, where you can be part of admin, accounts, logistics, environment support services, operations, meteorological and ground training assistant, Indian Air Force Police, and Indian Air Force Security. Here, one requires to be 10+2 in any stream and with aggregate 50% marks. Again, you have to appear for an exam known as STAR, Scheduled Test for Airmen Recruitment, and the age criteria here is 17 to 21 years. Now, let me quickly take you through what the STAR test is all about. The STAR test includes subjects like English, mathematics, physics, and reasoning and general awareness. You can see number of questions are 20, 25, 25, 30, and equal are the marks. When you appear for the exam, there will always be 1 mark for each right answer because it is the complete multiple choice question test, and 1/4 mark shall be deducted for every wrong answer. And you can see the website for the same is airmenselection.cdatsort.in. Before I move to the officer grade, I would look forward to have your questions or comments in the comment section below. And if you put across any comment or ask a question to me, I'll be very happy to share my latest career guide, which is worth 250 rupees free of cost with you. Next, we talk about the Indian Air Force commissioned officers. Now, there are 2 types of commissions in the Indian Air Force. First is the permanent commission, where one can continue working till the retirement age, ranging between 52 to 62 years, depending upon the rank and the nature of service which you are joined. Also, you can opt for a voluntary retirement after 20 years of service and become eligible for pension. Then comes the short service commission, which is generally a 10-year program, which is extendable up to another 4 years, where you can either take retirement or continue for the next 4 years after finishing on the first 10 years of the short commission. The ranks at the officer level here include flight lieutenant, squadron leader, wing commander, group captain, air commodore, air vice marshal, air marshal, air chief marshal. Air chief marshal is generally the chief of the air staff. Also, there is another rank which is known as the Marshal of the Indian Air Force, which is an honorary rank. Now we talk about the permanent commission. In permanent commission, if you want to join the flying branch or the ground duty technical or the ground duty non-technical, you can do that through an exam after grade 12 known as NDA, National Defense Academy. In this, eligibility criteria remains physics and mathematics compulsory at grade 12 level. This exam is conducted by the Union Public Service Commission and the age criteria is 16 to 19 years. If you want to go ahead with flying branch after graduation, then there is an exam known as Combined Defense Services Examination, which is only for men. Here, you need to be a graduate in any discipline, but you should have either studied physics and mathematics at 10+2 level, or you should be a graduate in the area of Bachelor of Engineering or Bachelor of Technology. The exam is again conducted by UPSC, and the age criteria for this particular exam is 20 to 24 years. Female candidates who opt to go for the CDSE exam, that is the Combined Defense Services exam, can only opt for short service commission in the Indian Air Force. Although there is permanent commission available in Indian Air Force for women, and in due course you will see how women can get into permanent commission. Second, the third thing is for flying branch. Again, there is an exam known as AFCAT, that is Air Force Common Admission Test, where permanent commission is there for men and short service commission is there for men as well as women. Next is the ground duty technical, again through AFCAT, with permanent commission for men and short service commission for men and women. Here, one needs to be either a graduate for the flying branch in with BE or BTech, or should be a graduate but should have taken physics and mathematics at grade 12 level. AFCAT application is based on advertisement, which is published in June and December every year. This test is conducted twice, and the age criteria is 20 to 24 years. And if you want to get into the ground duty, then depending upon your stream of engineering and subject you've studied, you could join one of the sub branches of the ground duty technical branch. The applicable test again remains AFCAT, and age criteria is 20 to 26 years. Next comes the ground duty non-technical branch. Here, you again have to appear for AFCAT, permanent commission for men, short service commission for men and women. You need to be a graduate or a postgraduate in any branch with minimum 50% marks, and the branches could be administration, accounts, logistics, education, or meteorology. AFCAT is the exam applicable, 20 to 26 years of age. Then there is a special entry for NCC, where one can join the flying branch. Here also, the permanent commission is there for men and short service commission is there for men and women both. You need to be a graduate along with a BE or a BTech and should have studied physics and mathematics at grade 12 level. Along with that, you must possess C certificate through NCC. You should have, been part of the senior NCC cadre for at least 3 years. The advertisement of the same is, put out every year twice in June and December. Here, you don't need to appear for AFCAT, and the age criteria is 20 to 24 years. Now, I'll quickly take you through the procedure of the first set of exam, which is known as NDA, which one takes through after grade 12. This application can be filled on upsconline.nic.in. The procedure is you have to fill the exam, which complete name is National Defence Academy and Naval Defence Academy exam, which is a paper-based exam conducted by UPSC twice a year. Candidate has to give preference amongst Army, Air Force, Navy, and Naval Academy 10+2 cadet entry scheme. Successful qualification in exam is followed by an assessment at the Service Selection Board. For Air Force, the candidate spends 3 years at NDA in Khadakwasla, which is in Pune, followed by 1.5 years of training at the Air Force Academy in Hyderabad, Telangana. The Service Selection Board process is a 2-stage process for ground duty and 3-stage process for flying branch. Stage 1, common for both, is intelligence test, followed by picture perception and discussion test. Stage 2 is a psychological testing, followed by a group testing and an interview. And if you are opting for a flying branch, you have to apply for flying branch and have to undergo something known as computerized pilot selection system, CPSS test, which further is followed by medical examination for everyone. For your clarification, CPSS is a once in a lifetime exam. If you are unable to qualify this once in a lifetime, then you can never become a pilot again. The test structure for the NDA and NA exam is mathematics, 300 marks, which is 2.5-hour exam, followed by a general ability test, again 2.5-hour exam, which has got 600 marks, total 900, and there are total further 900 marks awarded to the SSB test and the interview. The marking scheme is every question has got a differential marking. The full marks you will get if you pick the right choice, and 1/3 of the total marks allocated to the question shall be deducted if the question is wrong. Second set is something which we call as CDSE, that is the Combined Defence Services exam after graduation. Here again, you have to fill the exam on the UPSC website. You have to give preference amongst Army, Air Force, Navy, and the OTA. OTA is for one of the branches of Army. Successful qualification in the exam is followed by a SSB. Candidate sits, in this case, spends 1.5 years at the Air Force Academy at Hyderabad in Telangana, taking up the flying training or the other requisite training for the Indian Air Force. Again, as I previously told, SSB is a 2-stage selection process for ground duty and 3-stage selection process for flying branch, which is further followed by medical examination. Now, CDS exam has 3 portions: English, general knowledge, and elementary mathematics, which is again, all 3 are 2-hour exams with 100 marks, and SSB test and interview is another 900 marks. Marking is +1 for the right answer and -0.33 or 1/3 for the incorrect answer. The third exam, which you can appear to get into Indian Air Force, is, as I said, AFCAT, which is Air Force Combined Defence Services exam, which is an online exam conducted by the Indian Air Force. Successful qualification in exam is followed by assessment at the Air Force Selection Board. The candidate spends 1.5 years after qualifying at AFA in Hyderabad for getting trained for Air Force. Now, Air Force Selection Board after AFCAT is a 2-stage process. One goes for stage 1 through officer intelligence training rating test, picture perception and discussion test, and stage 2 is psychological test, written test that is conducted by the psychologist, group test followed by the interview. Interview involves personal conversation with an interviewing officer. Candidates who applied for flying branch have to go through the computerized pilot selection system followed by medical examination. The AFCAT exam details are on your screen, where you can go ahead and do general awareness, verbal ability in English, numerical ability and reasoning, along with military aptitude test, which is a 2-hour, 100 questions, 300 marks. Then there is an engineering knowledge test for candidates with one of the choices as a technical branch, which is a 45 minutes exam, 50 questions, 150 marks, followed by the Air Force Selection Board test as well as interview, which is another 300 marks. Here again, the marking is +3 for the right answer and -1 for the wrong answer. All officer grade entries are based on AFCAT in the Air Force. Application needs to be submitted online at the afcat.cdac.in, and for the Airmen cadre, we have to apply for the posts at the Airmen selection.cdac.in. The advertisement for various entries is published in the employment news and national dailies every year from time to time. I hope this interaction, this video gave you some insight in detail about the Indian Air Force. If you're seeking any career counseling, you can connect with my office at 7600 Parents, teachers can connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn. My ID is IQUEMOHIT. Students can connect with me on YouTube or Instagram. Again, my ID is IQUEMOHIT. If you have any questions, if you post in the comment section below, I'll be happy to answer. And also, I'll be happy to share with you my latest career guide, which is worth 250 rupees free of cost. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope you have got some insight again about the Indian Air Force in detail. Please feel free to put your comment or question in the below section. I'll be happy to answer.